sun warms us up a little bit. But it is truly beautiful here for the start of today's race. Today we've got the junior women's road race at 9:10, and then we have the men's junior race at 14:40 this afternoon. Down there on the bottom of the screen, don't forget you can follow the hashtag Innsbruck-Tirol 2018 and at UCI_cycling. That is where you'll be able to keep up to date with all the news of the racing. An expectant crowd at the race start, getting ready to cheer these riders on. 102 riders taking to the start line. Last year it was Elena Pironi of Italy who took the win. She backed up a win of her teammate Elisa Balsamo the year before. Amelia Diedrichsen back-to-back victories in 14 and 13. And of course Chloe Dygert in 15. Elena Pironi with a magnificent solo ride. She looks so strong. She can take the glory and the adulation of the crowd. Emotional moment for her. Elena Pironi is the world champion. A stunning double. Elena Pironi. It was a magnificent win last year as she raced away solo to take the race victory. Well, there's the riders getting ready. Wrapped up against the cold. A few jackets on. Real buzz in this area. These riders will have had to get up very, very early this morning to get here. Let's take a look then at what is on the menu. The introduction of the race is 47 kilometres. The riders' first section from Rattenberg to Peel is a classic flat road race. After 25 kilometres, the riders reach Peel where they cross over to the other side of the valley. They head in towards the lap in Innsbruck after they've gone over the climb in Nadenwald, and once they're on the circuit they've got this 8-kilometre climb which is very tough indeed. So that's what the riders face. I think we're going to see a fantastic race today. Well, that's the little mascot. Bit of flossing going on here at the race start. All the kids are out to cheer on these junior riders. We're here in Rattenberg again. There's the panel of commissaires who will be looking after the racing, making sure everything happens as it should. This is the smallest town in Austria, and everyone is out enjoying the action. Now, when we get onto the finishing circuit today, there's the British team getting ready. Eleanor Baxter just getting herself onto the start line and signing on, looking for a race number. Bronze medalist already in the time trial. Once I get onto this circuit, then we go from Innsbruck to the bottom station of the cable car onto the Pachakoffel Mountain, which hosted the 1964 and 1976 Winter Olympics. Takes us up to Eagles, which is right on the top of the climb, past the ski jump, and then down to Innsbruck for the race finish. Again, the race finish will be in front of the Hofburg Imperial Palace, and that's where all the races have finished so far. This is the rundown then of the riders who will be taken to the start line. The Italian team with a strong squad. Rosemarine Amelan, who did so well in the time trial the other day. She is again in the race. Eleanor Backstead there is in the British team, but the British team now add Pfeiffer Georgie. Pfeiffer Georgie, who has just signed for Team Sunweb, going straight from the junior ranks into a World Tour level team. Germany with a very strong squad with Hannah Ludwig. Norway will be looking for a strong performance today. Sara Giganti is there for the Australian team again, and I'm sure we'll see a good performance from her today. 2 Australian riders in here. The Czech Republic have 3. There's a team of Kazakhstan. Hong Kong, China with a couple of representatives, and New Zealand with Niamh Fisher-Black and Brittany Kerr. And there's a Japanese squad, Belarusians, and the United States of America always do well in this race. So they've got Abigail Youngworth and Jasmine So with Katie Klaus and Gabrielle Lehnert. Austria will be looking to put on a strong performance in front of their home crowd. Switzerland there with 3 riders, and Slovakia also with 3. Nations being given depending on their ranking points. There's the Spanish team. Chile with 1 rider, Catalina Sotocampos. South Africa with a couple of representatives. Canada so far have had a good championships with Leah Kirschman and Caroline Canuel the other day in the time trial. And that's our final 2 riders, with Nina Burton making up the 102 starters. Not long then until the race gets underway. This town first mentioned in 1254 as Rattenbusch. There's a little tourist attraction. The house is very colourful false fronts placed side by side to form single rows. Very similar to the architecture you find in the Mediterranean. Interestingly, this town is so small you don't get parking spaces, garages, terraces, balconies. It's very tightly controlled about what you're allowed to do. But Rattenberg, right along the banks of the Inn River, this 517 kilometre river that we've talked about. Right, we're getting underway then. The peloton roll out for the Junior Women's Road Race Championship. 200 metres of neutralised just to get the peloton all together, and then the flag, or the disc this time, will be dropped on the riders, so they will then get underway. Well, the Call of Nations has put Nina Burton right at the back of the group, wearing number 102. Oh, actually, we're now hearing it's, whoops, a little bit of a tangling already. Some nervous moments for some riders. It's always like this in junior racing. It's going to be actually now 1.2 kilometres of racing neutralised. And a problem here for the Irish rider. Needs a little bit of mechanical assistance. The chain is already looped around. Don't worry, she can. Someone should come out and help her, to be honest. One of the mechanics should just get out and help her. Don't really understand why no mechanic has got out of a car to help those 2 youngsters. Well, the peloton will be kept together until they come back, so it will take a little bit of a time. until this race gets underway. They generally will not let the race start until those two riders are safely back into the peloton. I'm just listening on Radio Tour to make sure that actually does happen. The race convoy will come all back together. So a little bit of misinformation given to us that it was 200 metres of neutralised. It's going to be 1.2 kilometres and nothing will happen. The juniors all moving up, all really nervous to be near the front for the start of this race, but on Radio Tour I'm hearing that the race will be, as expected, not started until those riders come back. The commissaire there out of the window, just listening to race radio to make sure he knows when things come back together. So that little bit of stress for the Danish rider and the Irish rider so early. Commissaire's saying you have to wait. This is the etiquette of bike racing. Neutralised sections are there for a reason, for both safety and also to make sure that if anyone has an initial problem with their bikes, which does happen, then people are fairly allowed to get into the race. You'll notice some of the juniors moving up very quickly. They think they want to get this race started. The Dutch are keen to accelerate, so are the British riders, but they've gone through kilometre zero. And the start is still being held. The riders then, after 25 kilometres, will make their way up the climb to Nagenwald, which is a 2.6 kilometre climb. And our helicopter shot, I'm sure, will show us when these riders come back. On the front of the group, over there on the left-hand side, United States of America. The white kit is Great Britain. And still quite a long way back for these riders. This is Ellen Holland-Klinger of Denmark. And really, if they'd helped her a little bit quicker, she would have got back into that peloton quicker. She's got a long old chase, and I think this race might not start for 4 or 5k. Especially these riders, remember, are on junior restricted gears. And the peloton convoy is moving along, from what I can see, at quite a fast pace. Really down to the commissaires to calm down the pace so they can come back. Well, she's had a long old chase so far. But she's doing well. She's just behind the car. This is allowed to happen in a neutralised section if something has happened. But really, the front car is driving a little bit too pacey for these riders to come back. Junior racing is always like this. Everybody is so keen to get going. The adrenaline has been rushing. They'll have ridden the time trial, some of them. Here comes the Irish rider coming back as well. Looks like she's not too far away, Lara Gillespie. And the commissaire will just say to her, don't you worry. Just calm them down and say, look, you're allowed to come back. The race won't start. She will be a little bit tired after this, I'm sure. But that little bit of adrenaline rush will probably help her out for a little bit. And this girl is a national champion in Ireland in everything. Won a medal at the Junior European Championships in the summer in the individual pursuit. So she'll have been a little bit stressed there. She's a very athletic individual, competes in hockey and running and won a medal at the Youth Olympics. But now she sees the peloton, She's just calmly riding her way back, which is great news for her. So Klinger of Denmark is back, and Lara Gillespie is about to come back into the peloton. So she's safely in. Now she just needs to move up and not get left behind. And the race is underway. So the minute she gets in, the race gets started. She'll want to move up. Right, an immediate attack at the front of the race. Well, that's great to see. Sometimes some junior races can be a little bit calm at the beginning, but you could see that there is a lot of riders who want to get started today. So far, a quick race, 69k to go, and the Italians are immediately on the offensive. So we've started in Albachtal Seenland. Lovely area. Just hearing that problem at the back for Shira Biren of Israel. There we go. It's like a puncture. Just seeing what goes on. Yeah, maybe a puncture. Yep. Just waiting for the Shimano car to come up, which is the neutral service of this race. The neutral service is a long way behind this race at the moment. And the rider from Macau, this is Hoi Yan Ao. It's a few riders just feeling the tempo, the early tempo. It's very, very quick already. These riders on junior gears, but the cadence is high. Peloton looks like it's all back together after that initial skirmish. And actually Sweden helping out the Israeli rider, which is nice of them to do. Well, the Shimano service are absolutely fantastic in terms of looking after everyone. They took me around the course yesterday to show me the circuit. And we did a couple of laps together. Sounds to me like they've just been caught in the convoy. This is number 78, and this is Naomi Rugg. Looks like Naomi Rugg is finding this pace difficult, or has had a mechanical problem. The pace already really, really high. Really don't want to get left behind at this point in the race. Looks like she might have had some gearing problems. Team car comes up. Great Britain just stretching the tempo now on the front. They have a very strong team here today. And the Backstead, the bronze medalist already in the time trial. They've got Amy Monkhouse, Amelia Sharp, the British champion, April Tacey and Georgie Pfeiffer Georgie, sorry. They always put Pfeiffer's name round the wrong way on the list of riders, just to catch us all out. Even although you know it, you just look down and say it. Thanks very much for your messages, and you can get hold of us on Twitter at UCI_cycling and at Ant McCrossan. Crystal shouted out for Kelly Van Schurer and Azulda Brits. Azulda Brits in the pack for the team of South Africa. This is Sarah Giganti, who rode so well in the time trial. And a problem here at the back for the Swiss rider. has a wheel change. So Naomi Rugg did have a wheel problem, so has decided to change it. Unusually riding with two different coloured shoes. Black one on one side, white one on the other. No peloton all together. Little V formation at the front. Can be quite difficult to break away in junior racing just because of the restrictions on gears, but the most important thing you're taught as a junior is just stay as close to the front as you possibly can. This washing machine effect that you get at the front of a bike race is even more pronounced in a junior race. And Kazakhstan now stretching the tempo at the front. Luxembourg with Nina Burton. She's got to follow the moves. Canada look to be involved in the action. And really, I think, despite all these attacks, the main action is going to happen on the climb of Nagdevald and up to the climb of Eagles. Today you get the first chance really to see what these riders are going to face over the coming few days in the different categories. The climb up to Eagles above Innsbruck is really quite a tough climb. So it looks like we've got our first little indication of a move. And Naomi Rugg is coming back. She's in the convoy. Just got to try and stay there. Once the pace slows down, you can get back into the race. Well, the future's looking a bit brighter for these riders after the announcements of yesterday. Women's racing developing, and we're seeing more and more women riders in these fields. 102 taken to the junior start today. And yesterday the reforms announced in terms of the strategy of women's cycling coming up, and the announcement last night was, I guess, twofold. One of them being that there will be a two-tier structure in women's cycling. World Tour teams and then pro teams, who are more the continental level teams, I suppose, if you compare it to men's cycling. And then the most important reform is that there will be a minimum salary for women pro teams, women World Tour teams in 2020, which is long overdue and is happening. It's been called for a long time. And very, very important. It gives women athletes who want to take to sport as their career the opportunity to do so without any misunderstanding about the fact that they should be paid. And there is no doubt that they should be paid to do their profession. Too many of the teams pay the riders very little money or nothing at all, and that's going to stop. And that is very, very good news for women's cycling. That was announced last night. There will be an audit done by the independent auditors to determine what the minimum salary will be, and that will come in 2020, and it can't come quick enough. Another part of the reform is that the World Tour teams will be registered directly with the UCI. They will no longer be registered directly with their national federations, which is an interesting move, and one that again is very important. Iris Slappendale said yesterday in an interview that I read online that that little nuance of change is very, very important. These two riders just need to stay there until this pace settles down a little bit. And as far as Iris is concerned, who's the head of the Cyclist Alliance, which is the union for women riders, it means that the differentials in terms of the ethics of a team, the financial standing of a team and everything else will now change. Some truly beautiful buildings in this area. Well, the Australians represented at the front now. We're now heading to Janbach. Slightly uphill now, past Wiesing, Rotals and Maurasch. All the time the riders have the Carwendale Mountains that they can see. The Carwendale Mountains covers around about 920 kilometres. It's 125 summits in that mountain range, covering peaks of around 2,000 metres within those mountains. Everything now packed together, 61 kilometres to go. She's nearly back. We're kind of willing her to get back. She had problems, got back, and then realised she needed a wheel change. And an attack at the front from Kazakhstan. Well, the pace, as you can see on the right-hand side, bearing in mind we're on junior gears, still very fast, well over 40k an hour. And the junior restricted gears, those of you thinking, what does that actually mean? Well, before the start, the riders have their bikes rolled out with the biggest gear to see what distance it covers with one pedal stroke. And they're not allowed to have any gear higher than that. So it's they're told at a certain number of meters that one turn of the pedals will give the riders. Now they can determine how close to that they get with different gear sizes. Oh, crash in the pack here. Riders hitting the deck. That was a big crash there. So Yashchenko of Ukraine is down. And also down is Kadgonia of Croatia. And coming down also, number 71, Tina Berger-Schauer. Very quickly back onto their bikes. You could hear the squeal of the brakes, touch of wheels there, and actually a couple of riders coming down who hadn't touched wheels. Everyone seems okay, nothing broken, not too many scrapes. These riders then safely back on the bikes. They'll work their way through. A couple of little bits of lycra ripped, but apart from that, everyone seems all right. Number 71, Tina Berger-Schauer from Austria. Can see the peloton in front of her, so she just needs to keep working hard to get back up there to the front. Here's our leader from Kazakhstan. This is the first major attack as Pashenko goes, wearing number 50. She was trying to break away, so Svetlana Pashenko is the rider who is on the move. These two working together to try and come back into the peloton. Now, can they get back? They're working together. The car's going past A little bit fast, to be honest, but hopefully they'll get back in. She's opened up a little bit of an advantage. She's the junior champion of Kazakhstan in the time trial. Now looks like Russia are going to chase this one down with number 44 on the front, Marina Uvarova. A very good time trialist. The plan clearly of Kazakhstan just to put all the chasing on another squad. So they've sent Pashenko, who's a good time trialist, up the road. That will give Bogdanova, Kurnosova and Solovyeva the chance to just sit in the pack and take things a little bit steady. Looks around to see what sort of damage she's doing. She's got a few seconds. You do have to work really hard on junior gears to grow your lead on the rest of the peloton. As you can see there, everyone just looking and thinking, right, someone will bring her back. She's not got too much of an advantage. All the motorbikes round about her. Some of these riders won't have ridden with so many team cars, so many motorbikes, the helicopter hovering overhead, the TV cameras that are there. It can be quite a daunting prospect when you go from riding your local races to riding a World Championships. There'll be some riders who are much more experienced, who can just deal with it, but some riders will just not really know how this even works with that sound that's buzzing overhead all the time. You suddenly realise you're in something much bigger than you've been in before. But this rider doing well, growing the lead a little bit. Peloton kind of massing across the road. Well, thank you to all of you for all your messages. At Ant McCrossan is where you can get me on Twitter. Also follow at UCI_cycling. That's where you can get all the news on these World Championships. There's also an Innsbruck-Tirol 2018 Twitter feed. Last night we went to the presentation of Yorkshire 2019, so they were outlining their plans as these two riders, Rugg and Cargonia, come back. So Naomi Rugg is going to get back into this peloton, I think. She's almost there. Those legs must be hurting. It's been a hard chase. Just in front of them is the Austrian rider. Things are calming down, so it's a big chance now for them to come up. The team directors in these junior races, they will be very fair in the convoy. They will try and help. A couple more riders trying to go away. So 15 seconds here. 21 now, and two more riders are going clear. And it's Matilda Vitilo of Italy. And also going away is Jensen, Meta Ekthoff Jensen. Two riders going across, three more riders trying to go away now. Just heard the Ukrainian rider has rejoined the pack now after her hard chase. So the race situation now then, Pashenko is the leader, two riders trying to go across, Vitilo of Italy and Jensen of Denmark. Then there's another group of three, Suddenly the race is getting a little bit more stretched. She's enticing some attacks. So as I was saying, we went to the presentation of Yorkshire 2019 last night. For those of you planning to go and watch, Harrogate is going to be the main centre for all the racing. So every race finishes in Harrogate, which of course is the scene of one of the stages of the Tour de France. It's actually the scene of where Mark Cavendish crashed really heavily with Simon Gerrans. These two riders coming back. A couple of innovations in the World Championships for Yorkshire for 2019. One of them will be that there'll be a qualifying event for the Paralympics on the first day, the Saturday of the World Championships. It's an opportunity for the Paralympians to ride in front of the World Championship crowd. The other innovation, which is new, of course, we all know that the team time trial is not happening anymore for trade teams. But what will be happening next season is the first mixed relay team time trial, where 3 men and 3 women from national teams will race together. The men will do the first lap of the circuit, and then they'll hand over to the 3 women, and the 3 women will go, and the time for the team will be taken on the second woman crossing the line at the end of that second lap. It's been based on biathlon in the Winter Olympics, and it's designed to bring men and women racing together in cycling for the first time. So that's going to happen. Let me know your thoughts. Just hearing that BMC have confirmed their new name, and they will now be known as the CCC team from next year. I don't think that's a huge surprise. Everyone thought they might call them something totally different, but no, CCC team is going to be the team that was BMC. Well, this rider is growing her advantage. She's growing it to around about 30 seconds now, and she's a really strong time trialist, so you don't want to let her go away too much. This is Freunsberg Castle. There's a few castles in this area, including the Tratsburg Castle. But Freunsberg Castle is just at the front of the Kellerjoch Mountain. It's right up on the above the town of Schwarzsands. A really popular hiking area in this particular area, famed for its views across the Inn Valley, and you can see all the way sometimes to Innsbruck. We're heading now towards Peel. We've just gone through Schwarz. It's known as the Silver Town because in its heyday in the 15th and 16th century, Schwarz was the biggest mining hub in the whole of Europe. Population of 20,000, and after Vienna it was the second largest place in the Habsburg Empire. Really beautiful area, some wonderful buildings in this particular region. So we look down on Schwarz now. A lot of very nicely designed buildings in Schwarz. The church in the middle of the town itself is the only one of its kind in Europe to feature 4 aisles, one on the side of the church used to be reserved for the miners, whilst the other side was reserved for the town's citizens, and weirdly a wooden wall used to divide the two. And old historic documents show that during the arguments between the two groups, it was not unknown for stones to be hurled over the dividing wall between the two groups whilst they were in church and supposed to be having a calm and moment of reflection. They were throwing stones across the walls at each other. Oh, there you go. Pashenko now 26 seconds ahead. She's on the attack and she's riding a superb race so far. See, right on the limit pretty much. Kazakhstan coming to the front to block this a little. Some good riding by the Kazakhstan team. And there's a few guys who really shouldn't be standing on the road there. Some of the juniors may not have seen crowds of this size either, so now and then they'll just have to warn each other to move left or right. There's one of the South Africans over there on the right-hand side wearing number 90. That's Zulda Brits. The Ukrainian rider wearing number 65, Ona Kilinish. But the tempo is moving along nicely with 51 kilometers to go. Thanks for your comment, Catherine, about the mixed relay. You think it's a great idea. Cycling needs innovative events, and it mirrors mixed relays in swimming and of course in biathlon, where we know it's been based. These three riders, you kind of just will them to get back in. They are still in the convoy. They're part of the race, but they just need to get into the race. They haven't been left behind, which is good news. That could happen. They're in the shelter of the race convoy. They just need to work their way through the cars. When you see pro racing, male and female, you see how easily the pros work their way back through the cars. The problems the juniors have is that they're on these restricted gears, so they don't have any more gears if they're flat out. Whereas the pros are very used to just weaving their way in and out. They use the cars nicely to come back to the peloton. A few shakes of heads. Come on, let's get you back in there. Berger, Shaw, Rug and Cardonia. They're nearly there. The next car is just in front. Rug is doing most of the work. She's had a long old chase. She's been out the back pretty much for the entire race so far. Get back in the shelter of the peloton before Innsbruck. This gap grows again, I'm hearing on Radio Tour. 35 seconds as they get shown on the board. I don't think the big teams will be too worried. I can imagine they're thinking, well, once we get to the mountain, she's going to come back. But you just don't know. You've got to gamble a little bit. Sara Giganti not too comfortable in this peloton today. I don't know whether she's not happy being in there or whether she's suffering. She doesn't seem too bad. That scar on her elbow. She had a very, very big crash a few months ago. Rode a fantastic time trial. It might just be that she's just not comfortable sitting in this group today. So she's leaving some space. But she's not a rider who is, to me, going to get dropped at this moment in time. She just seemingly isn't too happy sitting in the group. That sort of thing happens. There is another crash. Sara just avoiding it. And so the Swedish rider hits the deck, and that's Julia Borgström. Julia Borgström will now have a chase, a little bit shaken. Still got the bottle on the bike, so she's okay. Gets herself going again. And now Great Britain have decided, right, we've had enough. So Eleanor Backstead at the front with her teammate, and now this pace is starting to go up. Suddenly a few riders are going to wonder what's happened. You can see the tempo has suddenly moved inside 50k to go. It's going to be a difficult moment for number 22 here, Julia Bergström. Not a good moment to crash. There's never a good moment to crash, but particularly now there's not a good moment to crash, because let's just see what happened here. Yep, just a touch of wheels really, or hit the curb. Kind of a little wave effect. Luckily there was a bit of room for her to go to the side of the road. I think she actually just caught her wheel on the curb, which does happen. This rider's moving okay, but the tempo in the peloton is very, very high right now. Sandra Struthers, a very good question. You see the cyclists are being allowed to follow a team car to get back in touch with the peloton at the front. Are they allowed to follow the motorbike, or would that be an unfair advantage? It's interesting. There's two things going on here. Back of the race is where people have got an opportunity to come back because they're at a disadvantage. They've had a crash or a puncture. If they are in the race convoy behind the race with the cars, they are allowed to sit close to the cars to help them come back. If they do a Nibali, which of course you may remember from a couple of years ago, where they are way out the back of the convoy and the car brings them back, maybe by holding on, or holding on to a bottle, which is not allowed, then they will be disqualified. But at the moment they are allowed. If you're in the convoy, you're around the cars, you're allowed to carry on riding within that convoy, and it's okay. You're just not allowed to hold on to the car. At the front, you will constantly hear on race radio, if you ever sit in a car, that the commissaires, the judges, the guys who look after the rules, will be telling TV motorbikes to move out of the way, photographers' motorbikes to move out of the way, marshals to move out of the way. They have a commissaire on a motorbike who keeps an eye. So they're not allowed to have an unfair advantage at the front, but at the back you cannot be at a disadvantage in the convoy. What's quite often interesting is that the commissaire's motorbike is sitting in the gap, telling the TV bikes and the photographers' bikes to get out of the way, but actually can quite often be doing the same thing. So it's an interesting balance, and the commissaires work together with the TV, the photographers. Television will always push the boundaries to try and get the best pictures. Photographers will try and do the same, and the commissaires will try and mediate and keep everything as it should be. 47k to go. And it looks like Great Britain's surge has brought it all back together. Problem here for number 66, that's Yashenko, who crashed earlier. So we are now getting onto the climb of Nardenwald. And it's such a shame here that the Austrian rider almost back in the race and is going to be dropped. They've had to work so hard. The Ukrainian rider coming back in. There's an awful lot going on at the moment. I'm just hearing that the Shimano cars are being called forward. I have to say that some of the team car changes for these riders are a little bit steady. Ellen Jolan Klinger is a difficulty, and now Eleanor Backstead is putting the tempo in on the climb. I think if you get dropped here, then you have a big problem. So the climb now starts to bite in a moment. Backstead setting the tempo for Great Britain. This climb has ramps of up to 12% on it. As the riders go through turfens. This is when we start to see who's climbing well now. Onto the climb then. That's the profile on the right-hand side, through turfens at the bottom. There's a lot of pilgrimage to turfens at the bottom of the climb. And Thomas Roriger, who designed all the courses, the former pro. As we see a problem there on the left-hand side for number 49. That's Kurnasova. So Pashenko now in difficulty at the back. The tempo on this climb is very difficult. This takes you up the plateau at the foot of the Carwendale Nature Park. Well, the British rider April Tacey has been dropped, and so is number 53, and that's Lee Chu-wing. A few riders finding this climb really hard. Paulina Pastuchek also in difficulty. Well, the Great Britain team with Amy Monkhouse and Amelia Sharp and Eleanor Backstead riding strongly at the front. Czech Republic represented, Canada represented, Italy also there. This climb is biting. The Italians now in the ascendancy on the left-hand side. Now a little bit of a move comes from Russia, and this looks like it's Agil Gariva. Gariva's a European road race champion. So Gariva now testing out the rest of this peloton. Still got a leg warmers on. After this climb, they've got a 6-kilometre descent. Takes them all to the Spek Bakarov Inn. So Agil Gariva now putting some riders in difficulty. A lot of riders are now distanced. Simchak also distanced, number 75, Hurkanova of Slovakia. There's going to be a much smaller group left at the top of this climb. Still 3K to go to the top of this climb now. So the damage being done by Gariva. And now little groups of riders all over the place. Gariva riding well on this climb. And a Stricker there on the right-hand side, not liking this. Number 55, Brittany Kerr of New Zealand, also being dropped. Number 11, Amy Monkhouse has been dropped for Great Britain. So Gariva really putting some riders into some difficulty. She's riding a really nice race here. The Italians, though, still look strong. That team, Camilla Alessio, Vittoria Gazzini, Barbara Malcotti, Matilda Vitilo. It's a very strong Italian team, and looks to me like they are dominating the front of the group. I think there's going to be 10 riders left at the top of this hill. Some riders coming across now. This is really finding out who's strong today. Looks to me like 5 for Georgie coming across for Great Britain as well, the rider who's signed for Sunweb. But there are teams going to be just 1 rider left when they get to the top. The pace being set by Gariva is really hard at this moment. Still a long way to go to the top of the climb. Around 2 kilometres. Not really a steady tempo, is it? It's very, very hard. 1 Canadian rider coming across now. 2 Italians, so Italian squad have some strength in this breakaway group. 5 for Georgie makes the front group. Canadians represented, 1 Italian desperately trying to stay there. Oh, it's been a hard attack by Gariva. She rode really well when she took the European Championships. Danielle Latan, there, number 62 is Gabrielle Lenhart of the United States of America. Just in front of her is number 93, Elizabeth Jin. Looks to me like it's Simone Boyard of Canada who's in the group. So Canada represented, Czech Republic. Seven riders in this front group now then. Malcotti is there for Italy. Georgie of Great Britain, Gariva. So most of the riders we would have expected to be here are here, but Italy have got strength in numbers. That's what they needed. Looks to me like it might be Camilla Alessio. I'm just checking. It might be Gazzini. Certainly Malcotti is there. Barbara Malcotti. And a good ride by one of the Austrian riders to make it into this front group as well. So Austria represented in the front group, which is fantastic news. Looks like Laura Stigger. So a group of 7 riders now breaking away, and they've got a big advantage. They're working well together. Gap now 17 seconds. Sounds to me like there's a group of 5 behind. So certainly Gariva's here, Georgie of Great Britain, Malcotti of Italy, Stigger of Austria. And 5 for Georgie suffering at the back. It's not long to go to the top of this climb now, around about a kilometre. This is a hard, hard climb. It is Simone Boyard of Canada who's made the front group. 8th in 2017. She's one of the pre-race favourites, I would say. And 5 for Georgie is starting to get dropped. The rider on the front then is Jandova of the Czech Republic. The two Italians in here, Malcotti and Alessio. Georgie is suffering badly at the back of this group. Doesn't look comfortable at all. Is she going to manage to stay there? She's the rider that everyone is expecting to win this race, potentially. She's one of the race favourites, but she really looks like she's unable to go with this tempo. She's fighting her way back into the wheels. They've got about 1 kilometre to go to the top. Stigger of Austria is there. The Czech Republic rider, Jandova, is the rider on the front. Stigger has done a great ride for Austria to be there. Things will calm down once they get to the top. But the Italians have a good breakaway combination here with Alessio, third in the National Road Race Championships. Here's the chase. The chase is trying to come across. They're only 20 seconds behind. Another Italian here. So if they get there, they've got 3 riders in the front group. Number 16, Emilia Neustadt is there. Number 7, the Dutch have totally missed this. Eva Jonkers. This race is made for climbers. Now things calm down. The plateau is starting to help this group. .43 kilometres to go, almost over the top of the climb at Nadenwald. A great push by this front group of 7. So a group of 7, then a group of 5. And this is the group that are chasing. And in this group, Guazzini of Italy, also Marie-Lenée, who I would have expected to make that front group. Number 41 is Galamina of Russia. And also in the group is number 65, Olna Kilinish. So some of the riders that we may have expected to be in that front group are now in the chase. And there's every chance now that they're going to come back. Marie-Lenée of France, 4th in the European time trial. The gap starting to close. They're almost there, the chasing group. Well, this group working well. Well, the Canadian rider at the front, Simone Boyard, saying, come on then, let's do some work, but everyone's kind of happy to be over the top of the climb. So this race is absolutely split to pieces now. 41.5 kilometres to go, and we have a group of 7, now to be a group of 12 because Gazzini is bringing this race together. Marie-Lenée is a strong road rider. Gazzini has chased hard, And this is what's left of the main pack. There's hardly anyone left in this race. They've got around less than 20k to go to the circuit. The Dutch have totally missed out here with Eva Jonkers, their only representative in the chasing group behind. But 7 is about to become 11 by the looks of things. And the front of the race is all coming together. Now they've got about 6k downhill, and then it's very fast. The Italians, the total emphasis is on them now. They have 3 riders in the front group. They've won this title for the last 2 years with Elena Peroni and Elisa Balsamo. So in terms of race radio, we're hearing that 30 seconds is the next group on the road, then 1 minute is the next group. Ignore the caption that says G Pfeiffer, it's P Georgie as opposed to how it is on the screen. Galamolina, Gariva, Yandova, Kulinic and Stiga. 40 kilometres to go. Boyard of Canada. It's good to see her in here for the Canadians. Now we'll see what happens on the run down to the finish. This is a Maria Larch Chapel, which is a famous place, which is down in Turfens at the bottom of the climb. It's a pilgrimage chapel. There's a sacred spring here. In the 17th century, a peasant, Magdalena Bogner, was walking into the village one day when a larch tree suddenly spoke to her and told her to pray. So a chapel was built next to the tree, and it attracts pilgrims from across the world every single day. 11 riders at the front. Well, this Austrian rider will be have a little bit of knowledge of these roads. Number 73, Laura Stiga. Well, the initial breakaway, of course, was done by the rider from Russia. Sounds to me like there's a group of riders trying to come across as well. Laura Stiga is from Innsbruck. So she is racing back to her home city. 24 seconds is now the chase. There's the chase going on. Looks like there's a group, quite a big group coming back, trying to make their way back to the front before Innsbruck. We have 14 riders now in this group who are trying to chase back. This group seem to be starting to work together. But the chase group is working its way back to the front. Only 38 kilometres now remain. The final circuit is around 23k with a 7.9 kilometre climb on it. through to the front. 5 for Georgia has started to work. The Italian team are able to think about saving some riders. There's a big group coming back now, led by the team of the Netherlands. Also in this group, Maynard Galland of France. In the group also is Botero of Colombia. The Eritrean rider on the back as well has made it to CEST. Now Russia starting to work. 2 Russian riders in here now. Galamalina is working with her teammate who made the initial break. It was, of course, Gariva who made the attack on that climb. I expect we'll see her go again, and looks like everything is coming back together. So we're going to have a group of 25 now at the front of this race with 37.5 kilometres to go. .37 kilometres to go in the UCI Junior Women's Road Race. Thanks for joining us. We've had lots of skirmishes on the climb to Nagenwald, but now things have calmed down. 25 riders at the front. The Dutch have made it back with a couple of riders. They were dropped on the previous climb. The Russian squad were the team that really made all the moves. And the Eritrean rider relaxing at the back, Deset to CEST. Looks like Italy now have 4 riders in here. And the race now being set by the Dutch squad at the front. A big group of riders then. The rider on the front is Misabi of Denmark. To make their way over this bridge, which has got these unusual sprays on it. Group of 25 at the front of the race. In the group then, Alessio of Italy, Guazzini of Italy, Malcotti of Italy, and Vittilio of Italy. Also in there, Eva Jonkers of the Netherlands, with Rosemarine Amelan, the world champion of the time trial. So the Dutch have got 2 riders in here. Also in the group is Pfeiffer Georgie of Great Britain. And France have done well now to recover, and they've got in the group Lee Courinier. Also in the group is Mina Galland and Marie Linette of France. Also with Jade Wheel of France. Jade Wheel, 5th in 2017. In the front group, Kulska of Poland. Number 38, Desiet Tekest of Eritrea. She's made it into that front group as well with a great ride. Anna Bidak of Russia. Russia have got a good number of riders in here. Galamalina of Russia, Gariva of Russia, and also Uritseva of Russia. In the front group also Yandova of the Czech Republic. We saw her climbing really well on that climb. Then from Japan we have got Kawaguchi, who has made the front selection of riders. Botero of Colombia, who will come into her own when it comes onto this mountain. Then we've got Kulinich of the Ukraine, and Sabi of Denmark is in this front group. We've seen her near the front. Stigger of Austria, who comes from Innsbruck, and number 92, Simone Boyard of Canada. So it's a really strong front group of riders. Interestingly in here, Stigger is heading towards our home city. It would be a dream come true for the Austrian rider to win. She's known as a mountain biker. I don't think this mountain is going to worry her at all. She's looked very comfortable on that climb up to Nadenwald. But the group is a bit disorganised. 32 kilometres to go, around 9k now from the circuit. And we're just going back to convoy chasing and saying about Dumoulin doing the same thing. He was fined for doing it too long. Yep, you're absolutely right. At the end of every day there is a commissaire's report, the judge's report, and it outlines the various fines. A couple of riders being dropped on the descent here. Well, Botero needs to try and stay there, because if she can get herself onto the mountain, then she will be pretty comfortable. So Erika Botero there in second wheel. The problem you've got on these roads all the way back into the finish circuit, as the riders have said before, you have to keep the pressure on. There's no easy part of the road, even on the descent. Everyone looking around at each other. It's a bit more comfortable if you stay near the front. But these two riders somehow have just faded and been dropped. Someone leaves a wheel, then you have a big problem. So we've gone towards Tower now. Well, this is a lovely shot of an onboard camera of Bauernfeind of Germany as we see the riders racing downhill. This is the chasing group as they try to come back, so there's a bit more urgency in this huge group. 50 seconds behind this group of riders are, so they've got a big chase to try and get back before we get into Innsbruck. They really need to get there in the next 5 or 6k, or I think their race is over. There's a few teams who desperately want to get there, particularly USA. They've missed out. The Czech Republic have a rider up at the front. Slovenia don't. Germany have no riders, and I'm surprised about that, because the likes of Hannah Ludwig, we would have expected to be up there at the front. But lovely onboard shots, right in the middle of the pack. Heading now down towards Tower. Lots of vegetable growing in this village, particularly lettuce, zucchini and carrots. But most than anything else, it's known for its radishes. And the Russian rider Gariva is pretty unhappy. She's not happy with the level of work being done. It really is down to the Italians to work this front group. If they decide not to, then this race is going to come back together before Innsbruck. They've done all the hard work. Now they really need to keep this race going. But the Italians aren't prepared to take this on. They want to wait until they get on the mountain. The blackboard just being shown to the front group, and that's how they are told what the time gaps are. And the Danish riders had enough. So Mi Saibi, she's gone away, decides if you're not going to work, then we've got to do something about it. So she goes on the attack, 30k to go. It's been a good race so far, plenty of action. Well, the chasing group of riders are coming back very, very quickly. 30 seconds we're being told on race radio. There's a big opportunity now for them to come back to the front. Through Tower then. Mia Saba is just trying to stir some interest into this front group of riders. She doesn't want the big group to come back, which is totally understandable. They've done the hard work. They've made the selection, but so often when you get a group of 25 riders, things just calm down. In fact, looking at this, to me, Hannah Ludwig is in here. We missed her. Well, I would have been surprised if she hadn't made the front group. So Hannah Ludwig is safely in here for Germany. Hannah Ludwig, 15th in 2017, but 3rd in the European Road Race Championship. So she has made the selection. Still a lot of racing to go, 29 kilometres. This is the chase group. In here is number 37 for Australia, Anja Lowe, the Oceania time trial champion. Also in here is Caroline Anderson of Sweden, there on the back on the right hand side. Canada with a couple of riders in this group, Caitlin Roveda and also Magdalene Valeria Smil. And now an attack at the front, and the Russian rider isn't very happy. The European Road Race champion, Agil Gariva, she made the attack on the climb. Now she's trying to split things up again. She's just trying to get some more interest into this front group. But the Italians must be annoying everybody. They're not really doing what they would be expected to do, which is to drive this on a little bit. There's a little rise here. We're going to go down to Artsel and then into the circuit, and then we hit the climb to Eagles. In this group is Jade Veal, who was 5th in 2017 for France. Certainly a rider I expected to see in the front group, and she's riding strongly. There's us picking out Rosemary Namalan. She's kind of had a second life here. She missed the front group, now she's safely back. And that's what bike racing's all about. When you get dropped, you just don't give up, you try and come back. Sometimes a race can turn around for you. You have had a bad patch, you're not feeling so good. And then suddenly you think, do you know what? I'm actually feeling good now. More little churches up on the side here. Only a few kilometres from the circuit. Well, we've seen already who the strong riders are on that climb that we were on previously. But this next climb is a very different proposition. So we're going to go into Innsbruck now. And we do one lap of a circuit of just under 24k, the Olympic circuit. The 8-kilometre climb takes us from around 580 metres to 1,032 metres above sea level. Takes us from the bottom station of the cable car onto the Pachkoffel mountain. Hosted the Olympic events in 1964 and 1976. When you get over the top, the descent is super quick back into Innsbruck. Yesterday, I was following riders down into Innsbruck and they were hitting 80, 90 kilometers an hour on a training ride. The climb itself, in terms of its gradient, ranges anywhere from 3% to around 7.5%. There is one little section, the average grading I'm speaking about, but there's a couple of ramps where it hits 9.8, 10%. So it really is a hard climb. On the top of the mountain, the alpine skiing, luge and bobsleigh events took place in the Olympics in 64 and 76. So the riders now into the finishing circuit in Innsbruck. And this is your first opportunity to see what everyone's been talking about over the last few months as to just whether this circuit is going to test the riders. Well, there's no question about that whatsoever. This is one of the hardest circuits you'll have seen in a World Championships. There must be a little bit of nervousness, a bit of adrenaline now in the minds of these riders, because this is about to get very, very hard. Everyone just settling in. Number 36 there, Sara Giganti. But she's in the chasing group around about 1 minute behind. Kevin Rocky Evans, thank you very much for your message. Very much appreciated. Thanks to all of you who are watching. Who do you think is going to win? What nation is going to take the title in this junior women's road race? It's been an entertaining race so far. In towards the circuit, and they're going to come past my commentary box now for the first time, and we'll see them go through and then head out to the circuit. So they've got around 3k to go to the climb, and then the big climb will start, 8 kilometers uphill. That's where this race is going to be made. Beautiful sunny day. On the front of the race, Russia setting the tempo. The peloton chasing at 55 seconds. But now, as they make their way up to complete the run-in, the crowd are cheering them on. A nice big crowd here in Innsbruck. Across the line then, with the Italians leading, with Matilda So now they're going to go wind their way through Innsbruck, and it's a little bit twists and turns its way through here now. Yesterday, when I was in the car, it's very, very narrow at times. But this front group riding well. This is the chasing group of riders behind. They're not actually too far behind. It's a big group of riders, and I think they're around about 40 seconds down now as they make their way towards the mountain. One lap of racing to go. And at the front then, Backstead leads through. There's a lovely onboard shot in the middle of that peloton. 45 seconds is the current situation. I can't see them getting back. There might be some riders in this group who produce an amazing 8-kilometre climb. 45 seconds is not too bad to actually be able to bring back. So let's see whether it's possible. So the front of the chasing group, Eleanor Backstead of Great Britain, Silde Mathieson of Norway, Femke Gerritsen of the Netherlands, Neve Fisher-Black of New Zealand, Jasmine So of the United States of America, Anastasia Kolaseva was also near the front. So the race situation, just to remind you then, for Russia, Galamolina, for Italy, Vittilio, Baidak of Russia, Jonkers of the Netherlands, Malcotti of Italy, Ludwig of Germany, Jaskulsa of Poland, Galland of France, Jandova of the Czech Republic, Sabi of Denmark, Courinier of France, Georgi of Great Britain, Stigger of Austria, Nahom City, Alessio of Italy, Guazzini of Italy, Viel of France, Amalan of the Netherlands, Gariva of Russia, Kawaguchi of Japan, Lene of France, Boyard of Canada, Tekest of Eritrea, Botero of Colombia, Ritseva of Russia, and Kilinich of the Ukraine. 25 riders now in the front group with a 46-second advantage. 1.1 kilometres then until the next climb, and Russia really piling on the pressure. Trying to make it very, very hard into the base of this mountain, and it is a mountain. Takes us to 1,032 metres above sea level, through the feeding zone now. As these riders get themselves ready, we'll find out who is the best mountain climber in this race. And remember, you go over the top, then it's a very fast descent back into Innsbruck. You wind your way through the roads of Innsbruck, through a little cobbled section, over a little climb which is really hard. We were talking about that last night. It stings the legs. Then it's fast over the top, down into a flat section and a run into the finish. So the front group really is making no impact at all. 55 seconds is the advantage. Everyone's calmed right down in this front group. Some riders getting rid of some drink. I don't know if that's a good idea. I know you don't want to climb holding the drink, but it's still starting to warm up. The sun is beating on the backs of these riders. It's very exposed on this mountain climb. And we're nearly there. Russia going to the front. Yesterday I followed Lisa Longoborghini and Elena Cecchini going up this climb. The Tour of the Alps, they rode it in 16 minutes. Yesterday Elisa Longoborghini looked really comfortable riding up it, at times on the big ring, on the flatter sections. Elena Cecchini was doing efforts on the mountain. So it's going to be an interesting few days of racing, and this is the first time we get to see it. Be interesting to see who's going to set the tempo. Sitting in second place there is Malcotti. Russian riders looking strong. The French, there's the profile, takes you, there you see those little sections at around 10%. There's a 400-meter section after you go through Aldrans, which is really quite steep. So there's moments on this mountain where you think this isn't too bad. And moments where you really think, actually, this is a very, very hard mountain. So a big attack at the front, and it comes from Gilgariva of Russia, who jumps away. An immediate reaction at the back. So Gariva wants to get into this mountain with a lead already. The Polish rider goes across to join her, Marta Jaskulska. Bronze medalist in the European time trial. But the reaction comes as it should from the Italians. And it is Matilda Vitilio who is going to bring the race back together. But Gariva doesn't want to go onto this mountain without an advantage. She was the best climber, though, on the previous climb. She's just trying to mix things up a little bit. Thank you for all your messages. So just a few meters. Gariva, the national champion of the individual time trial for Russia. Junior road race champion of Europe. 7th the other day in the individual time trial. She's not such a good time trialer. She's more of a road rider. She likes to mix things up a little bit. But the Italians are happy. They've brought the race back together. I think they're riding for Alessio. Or maybe Gazzini. One of those two. Well, Malcotti and Vitilio will ride for the two of them. Onto the mountain then, 19.5 kilometres to go. Not far to Aldrans, which is where the climb really starts to bite. Aldrans lies at 760 metres above sea level. And you'll notice riders now. Oh, a little bit of an attack at the front. And the Ukrainian rider goes. Big attack from number 65, Volna Kilinic. Immediate reaction then. I noticed that the Austrian rider deciding to take the arm warmers down, Laura Stigger. Stigger of Austria is one rider to worry about in here if you're one of these riders. Junior mountain bike cross-country world champion. Already 4 times a European title winner. And Laura Stigger, her motto is one speed, flat out. She's a Red Bull athlete. She's already been noticed as a possible contender in Tokyo 2020. And a few riders starting to be dropped. One of them is Vitilio now being dropped from this front group. And the Eritrean rider also is being dropped from this front group, and that's Desetti Kesta. The Japanese rider being dropped as well. And the other Russian rider is being dropped, and that's, I think, Uretseva who is being dropped. This will just get thinned down. This does not relent for a long, long time. Laura Stigger there on the left-hand side with the long flowing hair out the back of the helmet. Happy, comfortable here. Italian rider just looking for a bottle on the right-hand side of the road. Some more riders being dropped. The rider from the Czech Republic looking comfortable there in the centre. Number 46 from the Czech Republic, Jandova, 7th in the European Championships. She was the rider who rode with Gariva on that previous climb. She's riding near the front all of the time here. She likes to set her own tempo, particularly on this mountain. 1 minute 40, the peloton is not coming back. The race will be decided here from this front group of riders. Number 15 in difficulty for France, Courinier, and now another attack. Gariva goes again. In fact, no, one of the other Russian riders going. So they are really starting to mix things up. All still got their leg warmers on. This looks to me like Galamolina going away. That's a big attack. Gap starting to open. So Galamolina trying to open up this advantage. See how quickly this is rising up. The Dutch rider starting to suffer. Eva Jonkers leaving a gap. A few seconds advantage now for this front rider. Molina is still breaking away and riding a good race. It's time to open up the advantage on the chasing pack. All the Russian riders, surprised they've all still got their leg warmers on, but it is quite chilly. A good crowd on this climb, enjoying watching these riders. Through Aldrand, this is where the race starts to bite. Takes us right up to the Mittelgebirge plateau. She's riding well. Really strong performance on this climb, just clicking her way through the gears when she needs to. Her advantage a few seconds. The next point on this climb is Lens. Takes us to 867 metres above sea level. Lovely pedalling style on the climbs, Galamolina. Keeping the cadence nice and high. So we've lost now 5 or 6 riders from this chasing group. And now the counter-attack starts to happen. Comes from Italy, and I think immediately onto the wheel is Laura Stigger. So Malcotti is making a move. Stigger goes with it, and going across is the Canadian rider, Simone Boyard. And the race is going to come back together again. Boyard riding a great race here for Canada. Really stretched on this section of this mountain. Being dropped now, Hannah Ludwig of Germany. And Eva Jonkers is being dropped as well. These two riders trying to fight their way back. It's such a hard climb. Anna Ludwig just looking for another gear to see whether she can get back. She may well do. She's one of those riders who may just have to ride her own tempo. Simone Boyard setting the tempo on the right-hand side for Canada. And now feeling the praise is Jaskulska. This is thinning down all the time. These little accelerations are hurting her legs. Who do you think's going to win? At UCI_cycling, at Ant McCrossan is where you can join me now. The time trial world champion is being dropped. Rosemarina Milan, and the attack of Gariva is starting to hurt these riders. Gariva goes again. These little accelerations putting riders into all sorts of difficulty. Gariva really is on a very good day on the right-hand side there. Laura Stigger's looking good. To me, the Italian rider, Malcotti, also looking strong. Pfeiffer Georgi struggling a little bit. Malcotti there in the white glasses. Boyard is looking good for Canada. She looks very comfortable. Laura Stigger knows this climb better than anybody. She's the rider with the yellow helmet on, and being dropped at the back now is Bidak. She's trying to come back if she can. Anna Bidak. Number 70 in a little bit of difficulty too, Mia Saba. It's one of those days where you just have to put yourself through it. Colombian rider Botero looking comfortable on this mountain. I thought she would. Once it got onto a climb that wasn't quite so steep, but was taking you up to a bit more altitude, then you were always going to expect her to be there. And the recovery then of Mia Saba, and also number 40 is Anna Bidak. Still a lot of climbing to go. It's the little town of Lens, which we are heading up to now. Still around 3 or 4k to go to the top of this mountain. Who's going to have the strength to go away before the top? Another little acceleration comes from number 46, and that's Veronika Yandova. She's happy on these climbs. She likes this terrain. The Italian rider's just trying to keep this under control. They don't want Gariva to go to the front. She's up on the pavement. And here comes the attack then from the local rider, Laura Stigger of Austria. One speed, flat out, and that is what she is doing. She knows this climb. She goes away with a furious acceleration. Well, she knows exactly how far it is to the top. Laura Stigger looking superb as she piles on the pressure on everyone else. She started racing against the local boys. Crashed really hard in her first ever race, but it never stopped her finishing. Now she's the junior cross-country world champion. Now she's putting riders into difficulty. Galamolina is dropped. So is Bidak. Laura Stigger is breaking this race up. Coming up to her is Malcotti. Barbara Malcotti and Stigger now at the front of this World Championship. Simone Boyard trying to come across for Canada. Great race this has been. Action all the time. They really haven't held back. So at the front of the race now, it looks like we're going to have a group of 3. And the 3 riders we constantly see in the main moves And they have to get rid of the Russian because she's so strong today, Gorieva. She seems happy to attack, but there needs to be a concerted effort by 3 or 4 riders, and that's what's happening now. Barbara Malcotti, Laura Stigger in the red with a yellow helmet, and behind her is Simone Boyard. Trying to come back is Gorieva. 15 kilometres to go in this Junior Women's World Championship. It has been a stunning race so far. Sometimes junior racing is just one pack because of the restricted gears, but not today. We are seeing a proper road races. 3 riders go for the medals. It's in their interest now. 3 different countries, 3 riders, gold, silver, bronze if they ride together. Simone Boyard goes to the front for Canada. The Italians are happy with the way things are going here. Pfeiffer Georgie of Great Britain no longer there. She's been dropped. And now Gorieva goes on the attack. So I would have thought that Pfeiffer Georgie would be one of the riders who would have been here. She's been highlighted as the talent of the junior ranks. Camilla Alessio now trying to go across for Italy. And Gorieva is there. This race really has started to break up. Simone Boyard of Canada has been matching every single move on these mountains. She's starting to set a tempo that's growing the advantage to 15 seconds. Now she's putting into difficulty the previous good climber, Yandova. Simone Boyard, not too worried. 1 kilometre to go to the summit of this race. And now a big attack. A big attack by the Italian rider, Malcotti. Boyard has set the tempo, and now she's got to try and react to Malcotti going clear. Laura Stigger of Austria looking for an Austrian gold medal. Look how hard she's trying here to stay on the wheel of the Italian. Boyard finished 8th last year in these Junior World Championships in her first year. She's the time trial champion in 2016 of Canada. She was highlighted by the Canadians as a woman to watch. Now they're near the top of the mountain. What's the gap's going to be? It's a flat-out descent now down to the bottom of this circuit. And 3 riders clear. Laura Stigger. The gap is around 28 seconds. One more Italian rider trying to go across. Little group of 5 going across. Then the next rider on the road is Botero of Colombia. Still, all these riders are in with a shout, but if these 3 riders combine and work together, this is where the medals are going. Boyard, Malcotti and Stigger. What a dream it would be for Laura Stigger. This is the next chasing group over the top of the mountain. So 1 minute is the deficit for that group, but Gorieva isn't giving up here. She's trying to bring the race back together. If you can descend fast, you have a big, big opportunity. Jade Wheeler's in this group. But Simone Boyard on the front of the race in the pink shoes. Behind her, Laura Stigger. Malcotti, who made that big attack at the front to try and grow the advantage a little bit more. They need to keep changing, keep working together. Number 1 is trying to go across there, Camille Alessio. The French rider on the front isn't giving in. This is Marie Linette. Alessio won't chase too much now because her teammate is up the road. But now we go on to the really fast part of the descent. Get ready for this descent, it's very, very fast. 28 seconds now, the advantage for this trio. Laura Stigger, she'll know every single corner, every twist, every turn. She'll be able to help this group out. With the Tirol on her back, she comes from the Tirol. And Simone Boyard into the aero tuck. On the back of the group is Malcotti. The Italians have won this race twice. Well, Malcotti is saying, I'm not going to work. Well, why would she do that? That's a little bit selfish, to be fair. This is a Junior World Championship, and you're in with a chance of taking a gold medal, and you're saying, I'm not going to work because my teammates are chasing. Well, to be fair, that's a little bit of a crazy instruction. But she can use it to her advantage, I guess. The advice surely is, put your head down, go and try and win the gold. Pironi and Balsamo, the last 2 winners for Italy. Chloe Dygard of the United States of America, the winner in 2015. Amelia Diedrichsen, the winner twice, 14 and 13. Lucy Garner of Great Britain, twice a winner. And Laura Stigger is just going to stay on the front and set the pace. She'll be happy with this. 74k an hour on the descent. Simone Boyard trying to stay there. Malcotti is quite happy. Stigger is descending like an absolute demon. Into the next left-hander. Simone Boyard being dropped. She's got to try and stay there. Stigger has got the home advantage. 65k an hour through that corner. It shows you have to be able to climb and you have to be able to descend. Boyard is going to have to do the descent of her life here, just to stay there to get the medal. Now they are going for gold. 2 riders left at the front. 10 kilometers to go. This road is tremendous. Now it gets even quicker. It's onto a really steep, fast section. Laura Stigger right on the wheel of the Italian. These junior girls going downhill at 70k an hour as Simone Boyard comes back for Canada. Previous winners of this race: Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, Jolene Dora, Marianne Vos, Nicole Cook, Ina Teutenberg, the new team director of the Trek team. 15 seconds now to the chase, and now the Italian Malcotti decides to work. Looks around at Laura Stigger. 15 seconds is enough for them to win the world title. Stigger's looking, come on, keep working together. They've got no more gears left. They literally have to just get in the aero tuck and go flat out. Stigger goes on to the next part of the descent. Boyard hanging back again. This is a really fast section, 70k an hour. Like a video game going down here. And a really fast left-hander. Boyard's not as confident on these descents as Stigger is. Stigger is absolutely loving this. Stigger trying to get rid of the Italian on this descent now. 65k an hour through that corner. And these are junior riders. What are the pros going to be doing? Laura Stigger now hitting 75k an hour on the front. What a dream it would be for this young Austrian rider. She dominates the Junior World Series on the mountain bike. Simone Boyard just trying to stay there. Once you hit the bottom, it's flat, then you go through, there's a little climb, And if you know it, it's a perfect launch pad for a huge attack to win the world title. Thomas Rohriger has designed such a good course for this World Championship. So much to think about. Malcotti goes to the front again. Stigger in second place. Boyard is still safely there. An enthralling finish. 7k to go and Boyard comes back to the front of the race. Well done to Simone Boyard of Canada. She is back in the group, and actually we're nearly at the base of the descent, so she'll be comfortable through this next corner. Malcotti goes fast through that turn. Italian's always good on descents. And now they're on the road where they came up on the other side. Service car stopped there. Don't know why. On the right-hand side of the road. Just waiting to look after them, I think. They need a little bit of help, a little bit of shelter. 60k. And Simone Boyard is still putting Canada in with a chance of a medal here. So now they're going to go through little narrow sections back into Innsbruck, in across the cobbled section, up over the little climb, and back into the finish line. If it comes to a sprint, look at this. 2 Italians now chasing. Number 1, Alessio. Number 2, Gazzini. They've left. Lynette behind. I think there's a rider just in front, just behind this group. It looked to me like there was another rider in the gap, but Boyard, Stigger, Malcotti. Then it looks, from what we're being told, Alessio and Gazzini. Stigger saying you need to work. The Italian Malcotti not working that hard. Just waiting for her teammates. Yep, here we go. There was definitely one rider in the group. Marie Lynette of France is coming back. That must have been a tremendous descent for the French rider. She's left the 2 Italians. Marie Lynette looking good, trying to go across to the front group of riders. This is going to change the whole complexion of this race if she gets there. 4th in the European Time Trial Championships. Luke Tag, thanks for your message. Why do we have restricted gears for juniors? It's always been about the development of pedalling style and action, so you don't give them all of the gears, so they don't develop muscles and bones and everything in the wrong way by just pushing massive gears. It's always been about trying to develop pedaling pace and cadence and style. Malcotti doing a lot of chatting, but Stigger saying to her, don't bother chatting, just get on with doing some work. Marie Lynette is about to join them. 8 seconds to the chaser. Any moment now, we're going to have 4 riders at the front of this World Championship, and they're going to make their way into Innsbruck. Beautiful part now as we go past the the Triumphal Arch here in Innsbruck. Built in 1765 to mark the marriage of Leopold II to Maria Ludovica from Spain. Now we're into this little section. Marie Lynette has made it. 4 riders now at the front of this race. 1 rider's going to be disappointed here. Now they head their way along the Maria Theresienstrasse. So 4 riders working together. Simone Boyard. Now the chase behind is all about Gazzini and Alessio. But now they're onto the cobbled section. Once you go through here, it narrows. Then you go up over this little climb. They enter the old town. They're going to go past the Golden Roof, the most famous and iconic attraction in the centre of Innsbruck. It's just in front of them. There it is, the golden roof. Still 15 seconds is the advantage. All together, they really have got to start working. Simone Boyard working. The Italian is disrupting everything here. She wants her teammates to come back. As she peels across, I think Boyard is just going to rip it up this climb, and so is Stigger. I think Stigger, because she knows that this is the perfect launch pad, is going to say, right, that's it, I'm going to go, which she does. She goes to the front now. Laura Stigger of Austria, the Italian rider, matching her on the little climb. And she'll try and pull out another 5-6 seconds at the top. Simone Boyard trying to stay on. Marie-Linette's legs are hurting. Well, when your motto is one speed flat out, you might as well show that that's what you mean. Laura Stigger of Austria doing her country proud at the front of this junior road race. Marie-Linette, having got to the front, is now being dropped again. There's only 3.5 kilometres to go, and we have three riders, the three riders that have dominated this race. Malcotti has got to start working soon. At some point, she's just got to say, OK, I want the gold medal. There might be a plan. So Alessio's been dropped. Gazzini is the rider trying to go across now with Marie-Linette. And Linette trying to come back to the front of the race. So still Boyard, Stigger and Malcotti. They have been the riders who have been the strongest in this race. The Russian rider was very strong, Gariva, but she just did far too much work today. Canada looking for the gold medal here. Marie-Linette has recovered yet again. It's been a long time since we saw a French champion. The last one was Pauline Foran-Prévot in 2010. Who's going to win? Let me know. At UCI_cycling, at Ant McCrossan. Marie-Linette is there. Linette is fourth in the European Time Trial Championship. She's a really good rider. The Italian still playing the game. Laura Stigger looking for a gold medal for Austria. She's used her local knowledge to superb effect to put herself in the front group. There's never been an Austrian winner of the World Junior Road Race. It's coming to its conclusion. 2.5 kilometres to go. Malcotti says to the riders, do some work. Well, they've all been telling her do work all day. "15 seconds now is the distance. This race was first run in 1987. It was first won by Catherine Marsal of France, who is now the coach of the Danish squad. Nicole Cook won the race twice in 2000 and 2001. Marianne Vos has won it. The Swiss have taken medals. Hanke Kupfenagel was the German winner in 1992. 10 seconds now. The game is being played by Malcotti. Stigger is saying, do some work. Malcotti is saying, well, my teammates are behind, but come on, 1.5K to go. She's just putting herself out of a medal here, potentially. 1.5K to go. Then Malcotti has been the strongest Italian without any doubt whatsoever. The 4 riders go around the corner. 2 more riders coming. Oh, almost a crash in that corner for the Italian rider. Gazzini is there, and Marie-Linette goes. Jade Veal is also there for France in the background, wearing number 19. So 2 riders trying to come across. Gazzini is the Italian, but an attack now from Marie-Linette. 1.1 kilometres to go. Simone Boyard trying to go. Laura Stigger ushers Malcotti into 3rd place. A great ride there by Laura Stigger. 1 kilometre of racing to go. What a thrilling junior women's road race this has been. Who's going to take the title? They really can't mess around now. We're going to find out any moment now. Who is going to take it? Laura Stigger is looking for this for Austria. 8 seconds now is the advantage to Jade Veal and Gazzini. Malcotti is still playing the game. Surely now she's got to say, OK, it's all for me. Laura Stigger looking for a medal for Austria would mean that the Austrians would erupt. Malcotti now on the front of the race. Behind her is Boyard. Marie Linette in 3rd place. Laura Stigger has played this one absolutely perfectly. Into the finishing straight here in Innsbruck. The local girl is looking for the gold medal for Austria. Marie Linette on the back. Malcotti has put herself in the worst position. Here they go now. Nearly 2 hours of racing. 200 metres to go. It's all about the 4 at the front. Stigger goes for Austria. Malcotti on the other side. Stigger of Austria is going to go for the line. It's going to be a gold medal for Austria. Laura Stigger wins in her home city for Austria. What a tremendous race by the young Austrian. Superb race. Coming in now for 5th and 6th place. But Laura Stigger wins in Austria. She did absolutely everything right. Well, that is going to set these World Championships absolutely alight. Her motto is there is one speed, flat out, and that's what she did in the finishing sprint. Laura Stigger wins for Austria in Innsbruck, where she was born on the 25th of September 2000. The Italians played the game of poker, but the winning hand was with Laura Stigger. Superb, superb racing. Junior world champion in cross-country mountain biking, now junior world champion in the road race.
Okay, so we got the podium. Okay.
Second place will go, I think, to Marie Linette of France, Simone Boyard of Canada. Here's the group coming in now for the 9th place. And 9th place is going to go to the Danish rider, and that is Mia Saber. Superb, superb bike race. Dare to dream, and dreams come true. This young junior showed everyone how to win a race. She didn't put a foot wrong. Here's the run-in for the sprint. She put the Italian on the front after so many times they'd been talking. And then when it came to the finish, she just left everyone behind. Laura Stigger challenged there by Marie Linette, but she knew she had it. She comes from Innsbruck. She's going to get given the freedom of the city at such a young age. What a superb picture for an Austrian World Championships. Here's the winning margin. She even had time to sit up. She wins it by around about a wheel. Well, all the big nations were here to try and win this race. Everyone was talking about the Italians, they were talking about the British riders and the French, but it's a young Austrian who takes the win. She was super strong. She made that huge attack when it mattered to make sure that the group behind didn't come back. So we wait to hear from the young winner. Let's hear now from the winner of the Junior Women's World title, Laura Stigger of Austria.
Laura, it's a dream. It's a dream. You're a world champion and you do it at home. It's incredible, I suppose.
Yeah, it's such incredible. Thanks for all the people standing around the track and pushed me to the limit, and thank you for that. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because you are from here. You are from Innsbruck, so you knew the track pretty well. It was the dream scenario.
Yeah, I know the track, but I am from mountain biking, and it's unbelievable.
Can you take us through those final moments? It was a hell of a battle with the Italian rider, with Marie Lenette, the French rider, and Boilard of Canada.
Well, we're very close. My legs are burning, and I gave everything I had, and yeah, it's crazy.
When you started the race this morning, did you think you could become a world champion?
No, I never. I like to have fun the track because it's my second road race, and it's incredible.
So what's next after this? Back to mountain bike, road race, maybe a professional team?
I don't know. I am looking forward now for the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, where I'm allowed to go, and then I am looking where I go.
And tonight a fantastic moment with the friends and with the family, I suppose.
Yeah, that will be celebrated, and yeah, it's incredible.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Great.
Her second road race is the World Championships, and she beats all the top juniors in the world. All the names, riders who've already signed World Tour level contracts. She beats them all in her second road race. Tactically perfect. She did everything she had to do. She made the accelerations when she had to, and she wins in 1 hour 56 minutes 26 seconds, beating Marie Lenette of France into second place, and a great bronze medal for Simone Boyard of Canada, who did so much work. Behind them, the Italians, well, Malcotti played an interesting game and it didn't pay off. Here's the run of the top 20 riders. Still counting through the top 30. And the top 37 riders who finished today's race, with the New Zealander Niamh Vischer-Black there. Abigail Youngworth of USA in 31st place. Kelsey Van Schuur of South Africa in 33rd. Well, considering her thoughts on that race, let's take a look at the highlights. Rolling out of the race start. Started at 9:17, the official start, after we had a few problems. The Irish rider coming back to the peloton before the race got underway. There were a few attacks, in particular Pashenko of Kazakhstan, the junior national time trial champion. There was also a few crashes along the way. Luckily, no one hurt very badly, just a few scrapes here or there. Pashenko pushed on the roads towards the first climb. Finally, Pashenko was caught by the acceleration of the British team before we got onto the first major obstacle, and Gorieva of Russia showed that she was on good form today. Maybe did a little bit too much work in this race. At the top of this climb, there were 12 riders in the lead eventually. The Italians working well together. Finally, a group of riders all came together. And then it started to swell on the run-in down to Innsbruck, eventually with 25 riders at the front. Then it was all about the mountain, onto the climb of Eagles, and slowly but surely things started to calm down. But the big attack really was caused by Laura Stigger, the mountain bike world champion, as she went clear in her second road race. She attacked hard, she was joined at the top by Malcotti, and eventually Simone Boyard of Canada also managed to find the legs to make her way across to the front group. As they made their way in towards the finish line, the descent was superb. Laura Stigger using her mountain bike skills to very good effect. Marie Lanette, well, what a great race by her. She got dropped on 2 occasions and came back. She got dropped again here. Laura Stigger riding with so much experience, considering she doesn't ride road races. When it came into the finish, though, she knew the line, she knew the city, and she had so much she wanted to do. She powered her way to the line, beating Marie Lanette. Just shows you, keep trying, you might stand on the podium of the World Championships. Laura Stigger takes the gold medal. The Austrians are celebrating. There's going to be a party here in Innsbruck tonight. So in a few moments we'll bring you the podium presentation. Well done, Simone Boyard. A great race and a very well-deserved bronze medal. She's making her way to the podium. A job well done.
When you will receive the medal, you go up.
So they're just getting their briefing here for these World Championships. Protocol on the stage. It's great to see so many of the kids out here enjoying the racing. Maybe some of these Austrian kids will be inspired by the performance there of Laura Stigger of here in Innsbruck.
The officer have my cup and some.
After the podium, After you can, but until the podium.
Thank you.
John told me at first and
Yeah, I know you heard things. He has such a. Can you repeat that again?
In the center.
Yes, thank you.
Lots of discussions going on there at the stage. The podium presentation about to get underway.
Ladies
I'm
and
second, but I'm a
gentlemen,
mountain biker.
welcome to the
And
awards
I
ceremony
won
of the
last
UCI
in the last
World
few
Championships
weeks
in
the
Innsbruck,
world champion in mountain biking, and then wow, it's amazing. Yeah, yeah, it must be great. And
Ah oui, je me voyais dans les quatre, je me dis ah non, et là j'ai pas le droit.
Some friendships made behind the podium. Simone Boyard asking her, where do you come from? And she says, well, I'm a mountain biker. I've won the World Championships as a mountain biker, and I can't believe I've just won the road. Of course, so many of these youngsters race against each other, and they won't have seen Laura Stigger before. So many of the riders ride the Nations Cup across the world. This young rider doesn't really do that. She rides big, thick tyres.
Awards ceremony of the UCI Road World Championships, Women's Junior Road Race.
UCI Straßenrad-Weltmeisterschaft Innsbruck-Tirol 2018. Siegerehrung für das Straßenrennen der Juniorinnen.
The medals and jersey will be presented by Mr. Amarjit Singh Gill, Management Committee Member of the UCI.
Die Medaillen und das Weltmeistertrikot werden überreicht vom UCI-Verwaltungsausschuss. Mitglied Amarit Singh Shildarshan Singh.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Canada,
An der dritten Stelle und damit Gewinnerin der Bronzemedaille aus Kanada,
Simone Boilard.
Simone Boyard takes the bronze medal. Canadian women's cycling getting better and better. Motivated and inspired by Leah Kirschman, Caroline Canuel and others. She rode a superb race.
In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing France,
auf Rang Nummer 2 und Gewinnerin der Silbermedaille aus Frankreich,
Marie Lenette.
Marie-Lenette takes the silver medal. Just shows you she got dropped twice. She came back. She eventually ends up on the podium.
In first place, world champion and winner of the UCI gold
This
medal,
is gonna get a big, big
representing
cheer.
Austria.
auf Rang Nummer 1 und damit neue Weltmeisterin und Gewinnerin der UCI Weltmeisterschaftsgoldmedaille aus Österreich, Laura Stigger!
Laura Stigger is the world champion. What a special moment in our home city.
Very nice. Well done.
The flowers will be presented by the member of the board of the Innsbruck-Tirol Seenland Tourism Office.
Die Blumen werden überreicht von
Reinhard Hacker will present the awards.
Alpbachtal-Seenland.
Board member of the Alpbachtal Seenland Tourism Association, where the race started. A proud moment, I'm sure, to present the awards to the winner of the race, being from this local area.
The Tissot watch will be presented by the UCI Management Committee member.
And the final gifts will be presented before the national anthem.
Verwaltungsausschusses.
Mr. Amarjit Singh Gill. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our new world champion, we present the national anthem of Austria.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, zu
And now the
Ehren
national
der
anthem.
neuen Juniorinnen-Weltmeisterin Laura Sticker hören wir nun die Nationalhymne von Österreich.
Laura Stigger becomes the first Austrian to win the Junior Women's Road Race Championship.
Meine Damen und Herren, nochmals unser aller Applaus für die Medaillengewinnerin. Erste und Goldmedaillengewinnerin Laura Sticker.
World champion! Our silver medalist, médaillé d'argent Marie Lenette et médaillé de bronze medalist Simone Boilard.
Well, the local crowd have enjoyed that. That will make even more people come out and watch this racing in the next few days. I think that's the best junior race I've ever watched. That was absolutely superb. Let's see if the boys can match it this afternoon. 2:40 is when they start.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our award ceremony for our women's junior road race. Stay with us as this afternoon we will be presenting the UCI Road World Championships Men Junior Road Race.
So this afternoon we'll bring you the junior men's road race. A little bit longer. It'll take us into the early evening by the time the race finishes. The riders departing at 2:40 in the afternoon.
Nationencup. Und genau dieses Bild geht durch die Geschichte.
So the photos being taken. She's going to be pretty busy for the next couple of hours, I'm sure. All the local press are going to want to talk to this rider. Job done as far as this is concerned. Second road race, there's Thomas Roriger. I bet he can't believe it. He's there on the left-hand side. He designed the course. And Olivia's just going to let her sign the jersey.
Just look up at the camera and smile, Laura, when you're signing. Big smile, go on, big smile. And again at me, big smile at me.
Now, Rupert.
Concentrated on signing her name. Laura Stigger, remember that name. Clearly a big talent for the future. Already a champion at mountain biking, now a champion on the road. Without any real experience of being a road rider. Confirmation then of the result. Laura Stigger won. She took the gold. Marie Lanette of France took the silver. Simone Boyard of Canada took the bronze medal. The Italians missing out. There's our top 20. The time trial world champion Rosemary Amelan in 20th place. And then the rundown of the top 30 with the bronze medalist from the time trial, Eleanor Backstead in 30th place. And now we've got more riders who have finished. There we go. So a lot of riders completed the course, considering just how difficult it was. In fact, as we count them down, in fact, most of the riders have completed the course. As we continue through the different numbers there to 70, all the way through to 80th. "17 minutes down, but you've still completed the World Championships, and considering the severity of the mountain climb, 93 riders finished out of the 102 that took to the race start. We'll be back with more action for the men's junior road race starting at 2:40 Austrian time this afternoon. The Austrians have a new world champion. Laura Stigger takes the world title in her home city. That's a dream that she didn't expect to come true, but it certainly did. Bye for now.